almost halfway through the year, and horror fans have really been eating good. So Backrooms is A24's newest horror film. It's directed by Kane Parsons, and it stars Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renee Raines. This movie is such an incredible feat by A24, by Hollywood. It's a step in the right direction for horror filmmaking in general. Just because Ken Parsons is a first-time director, he's never directed anything before except for horror YouTube short films about the backrooms. And he's being given the reins, the keys to this movie. This movie is written and directed by him. And I think that's such an incredible thing to do because when a creative gets to create, they make the best art there is because it's someone who truly knows what they want to put on the big screen, on the canvas, on the page. They know how they want to transmit what they want to transmit and they know how to get it across to the audience. And that's what you get here. Kane Parsons, like I said, 20 years old, just a kid from my point of view. And he's doing what directors three times his age with 10 years experience below the belt can't do, and that's awesome. This movie has two Oscar caliber actors in Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renee Raines, and they put in some great performances. I think it's amazing that you have two Oscar caliber actors in this film. I think it's great that you have A24 backing this film, making this film. I remember when it was announced, and I got kind of nervous that they were giving, this subject matter and this plot, this story to this kid, essentially, to make the film. But I was totally wrong to be nervous because that kid also made some pretty great short horror YouTube films about the exact same subject. For those of you that don't know, The Backrooms is a what are those things called? Creepy pastas? Internet folklore from years ago. That's essentially a universe parallel to ours, but not 100%, that has elements of what we know from our world, but that aren't from our world. And it's like a never ending office space retail store that goes on and on. It's like an uncanny valley thing, and I think that's such a great premise for a horror film because while you're down there, it's like you're looking at a chair, but it's not a chair. Your brain recognizes it as a chair a little bit because it reminds you of a chair, but your brain is telling you that may look like a chair, but it's not a chair, so don't sit on it. And that lends for the movie to be kind of like claustrophobic and atmospheric where you don't want to be down there. You know you shouldn't be down there, and you know that, if this chair isn't a chair, what else isn't what it appears to be? And Kane Parsons knows what to do with that atmosphere, with that setting, because that's what he did on YouTube. He did it with a budget probably less than half of what he had for the movie, and he made I think four or five pretty great horror short films in my opinion. And now putting that on the big screen, hats off to him, hats off to A24, everyone involved with this movie. This movie was a lot of fun. It was great. I can't escape the negatives though, and I don't want to, focus on the negatives, have the negatives be what you take away from this. But I'm just gonna get them out of the way. You have two Oscar caliber actors, and because they're Oscar caliber actors, when you hear certain parts of dialogue in this movie, it takes you out that it's that bad. Not bad, but it's not how people talk. It's not, it's not great dialogue, and it's in only in certain scenes and certain moments. It's not the movie as a whole or even whole pieces of dialogue, just certain pieces of dialogue that once you hear them, at least in my opinion, it took me out of the film a little bit, and it made me kind of like, well, why would you say that? And the fact that it's an Oscar caliber actor, it makes it stick out even more because it's like, well, I mean, I know it's not the actor because this actor has been in 12 Years a Slave, this actor has been in Sentimental Value, and they're putting in a great performance. So it's the writing. And that's one of the negatives. The only other one is that When we're in the back rooms, it's great. It's atmospheric. Like I said, it's, you don't want to be down there because you know you don't belong down there. And so you want to come back up. But once you come back up, the story isn't as captivating. We have two great characters. Um, I forget their names. Dr. Mary Klein, and I forget Chiwetel Ejiofor's character's name, but you have two great characters who are going through their own difficulties, and their stories kind of parallel each other and what they're going through with the backrooms. But it doesn't draw you in as well as what the movie does when it's in the backrooms. I think when the movie is, especially in a found footage point of view, down in the back rooms, exploring, running away, trying to survive. I think that's when the movie shines. That's when the movie's in its element, and that makes sense because that's how the short films were shot. So when we're seeing those parts of the movie, that's Kane Parsons, sorry, doing what he was doing just on YouTube, but now on the big screen. And so those are the only two negatives I can take away from the movie. The rest of the movie is so much fun. It's scary. It's thrilling and atmospheric and captivating. I don't want you to focus on the negatives that I mentioned, but I do have to be honest, simply because I recommend you go see this movie. I think if you're a fan of horror, this is a great month for you, by the way. It's a great half of a year. We got so many horror films that have come out that were awesome. And I think this is just another addition. I don't think it's the kind of movie I'll watch again. Not because it's bad, or not because it's like traumatizing or anything, but it's just not the kind of movie that I'll rewatch. That I'll be like, oh yeah, let me put this on now that it's on Amazon Prime. Um, and I don't want to count that as a negative, but it is like, go watch this in cinemas while it's there, because this is a movie that's made to be seen on the big screen with a group of people, with friends. Experience it, feel the horror and the dread that Kane Parsons and A24 wanted you to feel while it's in theaters. Because afterwards, I don't know if it'll have the same effect. I don't know if what I'm trying to get across in this interview will be felt if you're not in the movie theater. So that's my review on Backrooms. I hope it makes sense. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.